And I head the technology division at Enrich. I am pleased to be here with you today to share our knowledge on the considerations for migrate to R12. And this information is something that we have gathered over several years of consulting experience, working on several R12 projects from Oracle forums like Oracle Open World and OAUG. Before we commence, let me take a few moments to present our company Enrich and its credentials. We are in the consulting business for more than 10 years and have become one of the largest pure-play Oracle service providers in the North American continent. We are platinum partner for Oracle, and we have specializations in EBS and BI applications. In EBS, we are specialized in financials and supply chain management. And we are also one of the approved procurement BPO partners. And we come up with a heritage of free markets and Ariba with our acquisition of a company called E3, which happened very recently. As for myself, I have over 25 years of experience in IT, of which 20 years I've been with Oracle ERP itself, right from the days of Release 9. I am an ex-Oracle employee myself, like several of my distinguished colleagues at Enrich. I've also kind of worked with the previous companies. My previous companies include Genpact, Sierra Atlantic, and Citigroup. We also are in the customer advisory board, as for the application technology panel. Coming back to today's agenda, we are going to be, this is going to be focused on R12, as it has become a hot topic considering the fact that the external support is drawing to a close for 11i. So this is this has put the upgrade as a top of the list for most of the companies that have not yet made the switch. So we intend to run a series of this webinars to increase the awareness about the options for R12 migration and clarify any myths that are surrounding it. We'd also like to provide tips that could help you accelerate in the overall project. As we said, this is going to be a three-part webinar series. The first webinar series is happening today. And in today's seminar, we will be primarily focused on the preparation phase alone, which consists of evaluation and assessment. Unfortunately, this upgrade topic had to be broken into 3 segments, considering the vast areas that need to be covered under the topic of R12. Today, we will quickly breeze through the key drivers for the upgrade, the Oracle support timelines for 11i, and the overall strategy and the roadmap for Oracle ERP e-business applications. We could then cover the big picture of the upgrade and the holistic planning and the various phases in the upgrade, and assessment and some sample assessments on some of the perspectives. And then we will share some tips on how you could accelerate your evaluation and the planning phase. We would have the second and the third series happening approximately a month from now, as a continuation of this particular webinar. Okay. Before we plunge into details, it's very important for us to take a step back and consider all the key reasons for the upgrade. And unless you identify and prioritize these drivers, your approach and the strategy for the migration, cannot be accurate. Because only with these inputs you would be able to determine whether you want to do a re-implementation or an upgrade. The key reasons a lot of people give is that the supportability of the application. You would like to move to a standard supportable platform. The external support for EBS 11i is ending on November 2013. Afterwards, you need to depend upon the sustaining support, which is limited in terms of resources and capabilities. It's not just a supportability. R12 is also a big leap in terms of functionality. The Oracle has introduced 18 new products, and several edge products have been available from 12 and onwards. And there are over 3,200 enhancements that Oracle has released, and they continue to innovate and improve the product. There are lots of new features, enhancements, and security fixes that have come through Oracle R12, and also on the Oracle Database 11g R2. It's no more a question of why, it's actually a when. And if this being the background, you could start preparation even before the budget approvals, because this helps you accelerate once the go-ahead is given. Just as a recap, for you to build a good case, you would want to list the key business drivers. We try to classify them as 2 perspectives, one from the business and another from the IT. From the business, it could be compliance, competitive advantage, exploiting the new features and enhancements, rolling out the new applications and broadening the footprint. And also this is an opportunity they might use to re-engineer the business process to simplify, standardize, and go for a shared service model. From the IT perspective, it could be supportability, reduction of the TCO, better stability, and improved performance. And more importantly, this puts you in Oracle's product development roadmap for continued improvements and innovation. Let's recap the support timelines for 11i and release 12. 11i was released in August 2004, and it's already on external support, and it's ending by November 2013. Oracle has agreed to extend the support on an exception basis by 13 more months. This is called exception-based sustaining support. And typically, in the sustaining support, you would not get any fixes, but then Oracle has agreed to release several, agreed to release severity fixes for any severity 1 issue that we might face. Release 12.0, which is the first version of the release 12. The support is ending by early part of 2015, and the release 12.1, which kind of came available in 2010. It is going to have external support till all the way to December 2018. As a goodwill, as a gesture of goodwill, Oracle has waived the uplift fee, which is typically about 20%. Some of this the latest information on this could be obtained from Oracle. We have just tried to summarize. This could be a old snapshot. For the latest details, please refer to Oracle support document. It is called Oracle Lifetime Support Policy. The quick recap for the 11i customers, there is an exception that is provided for the sustaining support. It's a 13 months of sustaining support from December 2013 to December 2014. New fixes for severity 1 production issues. It also includes critical patch updates, including all the way up to October 2014, and all the payroll and financial related products for the Form 1099 and the payroll regulatory updates. Oracle is going to give for the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, and Australia. One thing you should remember though, if you are on 11.5.10, you need to be on, if you are an 11i customer, you should be on 11.5.10 and on the minimum recommended patch set level for you to be supported by Oracle. You should have been on 11.5.10 CU2. You should have uptaken ATG Rep 6. Your Oracle database should be at least a 10G or 2, if not 11G or 1 at least. You should, in addition, you should also take some of the patches recommended for each of the product-specific recommended patches. I would also draw your attention to the Oracle Application Strategy and Roadmap. This is from Oracle's horse's mouth from Oracle. Please refer to the Oracle YouTube channel. There is this presentation called Strategy and Roadmap given by Cliff Godwin, who is the SVP for Oracle Application Development. Here, they clearly indicate their commitment to R12. For those skeptics who were waiting to directly upgrade to Fusion instead of making an interim jump, Oracle has made it amply clear that Oracle 12 is here to stay. They would continue to not only to support but also to improve it, in a big time. So we are looking at 12.2 to be released in a short while. Most probably by middle of 2013 it should be released. Of course, there is no guarantee. It's Oracle's product. And it's also, Oracle has also indicated its commitment to continue the product line. What Oracle recommends is, if you are on 11.9, please upgrade to R12. You can expand your footprint by leveraging new features and applications, extend with adjacent applications, and evaluate the coexistence solutions. So this is a strategy. This is from Oracle about their strategy and the roadmap for the applications. One of the key things that you need to determine before you start the migration, you need to approximately understand what you want the target release to be. Do you want it to be on the latest release, which is 12.3? It was made available in 2010. It is latest and several customers have uptaken, and lots of patches have been released. It's tested and proven. But if you want to go live after December 2013, you could also look at release 12.2. And you need to determine what your database would be and what platform change would you like to consider to bundle along with the R12 upgrade. You might want to do the upgrade as such, or you might also want to do it along with the platform upgrade or architecture changes. The architecture changes could be in terms of moving to multi-tier, or moving to rack, or adding DMZ, or going for high availability model, or building disaster recovery capabilities, or the advanced security features. Let's kind of quickly talk about the big picture of the upgrade here. Broadly you can classify into 3 phases. One is the preparation for the migration itself. Second is the execution of the migration. And the third is, after the migration is done, how do you manage, evolve, and optimize? Now that's a different piece altogether. In our methodology, we kind of further classify 5 different stages, right? Evaluate, plan, execute, test, and transition. For shortage of time, the first of this series of this webinar will focus only on the evaluation and the planning phase, which is the preparation stage. And we would give some sample details on some of those aspects into this model. In the evaluate phase, it's predominantly about getting educated on R12 and performing an assessment from multiple perspectives so that nothing is justly missed out. And then you need to build a good case, solid case, so that you can take it to the management. This is about the R12 value proposition and why you really want to migrate. It also helps for you to have a clear model of what is the as-is process and what is the to-be process that you would like to do that in case you would like to realign your business processes. And this is accompanied by a gap analysis, and all these things decide. These are the determining factors to tell you whether you would like to do, whether you should do an upgrade or re-implement. And depending on the other factors, you might want to phase it out, or you might want to do it in as a single project. The planning phase, typically what it involves is to kind of scope out whether you have changes being considered in the hardware platform, or do you want to do single downtime, or do you want to look at instant merge, etc. And these are the general activities that are talked in the planning phase. Let's quickly kind of move on to the next slide. For you to kind of really use this big picture and accurately nail the plan, you need to have your CTQs. We call CTQs. This is actually called critical to quality. What it means is these are the success factors for the migration. How would you consider the migration to be a success? And unless these factors are met, you would not be able to say with pride that you have completed the project on success. These could be in terms of this could again be from 2 different streams. From the business stream, it could be an overall timeline of the effort. It could be minimum downtime. It could be the minimum disruption either during the upgrade or after the upgrade. And not only that, they need to have a business clearly defined business benefit. This could be improved user adoption, improved productivity, streamlined business processes, or a much cleaner data. These are the major CTQs that the business might have. From the IT perspective, you might have different CTQs. These could be reliable upgrade, stability and performance of the the newer on the newer tech stack, and possibly instance consolidation, and that brings about a completely reduced TCO, total cost of customer ownership. And this reduction in TCO happens through customizations, bolt-ons, or third-party integration that could be Eclipse. We would like to emphasize the importance of holistic planning. If you miss out any aspects in the planning, this is going to spell disaster for the success of the project. And the planning is typically preceded by a discovery phase, which considers all the perspectives and makes a very formal assessment. The assessment could be in terms of the infrastructure, from the functional aspects, the technical aspects, and the staffing aspects. Once you do the discovery, you get into the project planning. The project planning talks about clearly identify the target release, the factors that affect the effort and the timeline, and also the decision between upgrade or re-implementation. Once it is done, you need to ensure that you have a buy-in from the stakeholders. Remember, it is not a pure IT project. You need to have commitment from business, not only for, you need commitment from them for the testing as well as for the actual success of the project. And you should remember, you should manage your customization well, as they could prove to be a big bottleneck. And they also have a big, they also pose a big challenge. You need to identify the dependencies on third-party solutions, BI solutions, on any of the absolute products that might have to be replaced. And then the other aspects, or the typical, putting the right team and using change management across the entire duration of the project to make sure we are on track, and we have everyone onboarded properly throughout the engagement. Let's quickly kind of talk about the informal assessment that happens within the holistic planning. There are like 4 different aspects that you need to look at. One is the strategy, the other is the technical perspective, and the third one is the functional perspective, the fourth one is the people perspective. And all of them need to be thoroughly governed. From the strategy perspective, the key questions that you ask yourself are, do you have multiple instances that you need to consolidate? Do you really have bad data in your ABS and you are not happy to live with it? Do you want to archive and purge them? Are you comfortable looking at them in a historical instance and want to have a better implemented instance that aligns to your business process in a better way? And these choices determine whether you would like to do an upgrade or re-implementation. And also, depending on the budget, the time constraints, would like to decide whether you want to do a technical or a full feature driven upgrade. Then based on your sensitivity, you need to determine whether you want to go for a single or a multiple project and a multiple downtimes. The technical perspectives involve consideration of the platform, the hardware capacity, the architecture, the other aspects that are listed here. From the functional side, you need to kind of determine what is the business process alignment as it exists today, what you would like to do tomorrow, what are the gap analysis, what are the new functionality that you would leverage, and do you have plans to roll out any of the newer applications? And also make sure you consider the right testing efforts that are involved. The governance on all these aspects involve stakeholder buying in, change management throughout the project, good teamwork, and the right teamwork, and the dependencies that you really need to ensure that you consider. From the people perspective, you need to have the resources available and committed because everyone is always busy, and if the business does not allocate adequate staffing for you, you are going to have a challenge in defining and leveraging newer features or the testing and acceptance of the actual product. And you need to consider the skills gap and the training, not just for your IT team, but also for the business super users and the users. As a sample, it will be too much for us to consider all these aspects in this webinar. As a sample, we would quickly want to recap on, throw some highlights on some of those aspects. One of the things that we want to look at is in the assessment for strategy, what are the options available for actual migration for you? So depending on the effort, resources, and the approach, and also the business value, outcoming business value, the upgrades, the switch to Authwell could be classified as a pure technical upgrade, or a functional upgrade, or a transformational upgrade. As you could see in the picture, a technical upgrade is simply moving to the latest supported platform. Just to upgrade the by running the upgrade scripts, you upgrade the applications, the database, and the hardware. It improves your technology foundation. It just kind of positions you at the spot, but it doesn't give you any immediate business benefit. The functional upgrade though it takes more effort, more resources, there is an additional business value because it could replace customization or third-party solutions. It allows you to leverage any of the newer features that have come in Authwell. On the other hand, the transformation upgrade involves mostly a re-implementation. It allows you to do a complete re-implementation if you're not happy with the current implementation, and allows you to realize a lot more cost savings. Again, as a sample, we would like to show if it is a technical upgrade, what are the pros and cons. So based on this, you would be able to determine which of the upgrade is, which of these options is most suitable for you. Enrich can also engage with you to come up with a real cost-benefit analysis, which could be more quantifiable. Coming back to this technical upgrade, we have the pros and cons. In terms of pros, this is the least effort, and in terms of budget and risk, this is the most minimal. It also minimizes the need for the organizational resources. It allows you to move to the at the earliest possible stage to the supportable platform and on the latest technology stack. So there is no data migration, there is less of testing. But on the other side, the negative aspects of this technical migration is it maintains the status quo. If you're not happy with the current implementation, you're not going to be happy with Authwell too. It doesn't allow you to address any major changes like COE, and there are no data cleansing, and there is no immediate business benefit. One small thing I would like to point out is, if you're looking at a small change in the chart of account structure, it is not necessary that you have to do a re-implementation. There are tools available from partners like ePrentice, which allows you to make minor tweaking of the COA with a rather than going for a very expensive re-implementation. Another sample that we would like to show from the assessment phase is upgrade versus re-implement. It kind of throws some ideas about when you need to do a re-implementation, when you need to do an upgrade. Upgrades are indicated when you are constrained by budget and time, and you want to take up a smaller, less invasive, and a more manageable effort. When you have a lot of conflicting priorities, you are in a hurry to really move to the supported platform. And you also have customization that cannot be readily replaced, and they are all working out fine. So you really don't have to fix anything that is not breaking. So with this model, upgrade is a better option, less expensive, more reliable, and risk-free. Re-implementation is indicated when you have undergone significant structural changes, when you are here to do business process engineering, and your data is not clean, and you have a lot of instances that you want to consolidate, and critical changes are required for your calendar or your chart of accounts or any of the costing methods, etc. You need to kind of go for a re-implementation. And another quick recap on the assessment for strategy. This is about the downtime. The critical question that you ask yourself, should you combine related system changes with your 12.1 project and downtime? Either you could go for a single project and a single downtime, or you could go for multiple projects and multiple downtimes. Both have their own pros and cons. With a single project and downtime, you have one large downtime, but the total downtime is less. The cumulative total downtime will be much smaller, and the testing effort is also smaller because you are doing in one shot. But it is more complex troubleshooting, and it's a much bigger project, so it's a much bigger business risk. On the other side, if you do multiple projects and multiple downtimes, there are many small downtimes which could be accommodated in the weekend, but they all add up to a much larger downtime and the larger testing effort because you have to test multiple times. And it simplifies troubleshooting. It also poses less business risk. So in practice, different enterprises, they make different scope and pacing decisions based on how frequently they can take a downtime, how long a single downtime could be, how much of testing is needed. A lot of companies, what they do, they kind of complete many of the system-related changes much ahead of the 12.1 because you can take advantages of the performance of the newer hardware and the newer system when you do the upgrade. And we would like to show another sample assessment from the technical perspective. This involves your hardware capacity assessment. Evaluate whether you have infrastructure capacity adequate for 11A and R12. And don't forget the instance strategy. And also remember, you need to do a code freeze at the right time. And check whether if you can upgrade directly from your baseline, what should be your upgrade path. This would also determine your approach, whether you want to do a single project or you want to do a multi-step, multi-pronged, baby-stepped project. You should also have a clear plan how you will manage your customization. For that, you need to get an inventory of all your assembly and decide on the course of action. If you have a very highly process-oriented team, you most probably would have a good list of assembly. If not, there are commercial off-the-shelf tools available like Panaya, which identifies the customization, help you with impact analysis and suggestions for migrations. And you should consider the third-party tools and their integration, and also evaluate the security requirements for integration into the migration. Lastly, we would like to quickly cover the functional business perspective. This involves the R12 awareness training for the business and the super users. And you need to evaluate whether the business process are aligned. Your existing business process are aligned in the existing system, and if not, what would you like to see it in the newer to-be model, and how you would re-engineer these processes with the newer re-implementation. This is a determining factor to find out whether you would need to do an upgrade or a re-implementation. And another key aspect you need to consider the change management, and you need to prepare your IT staff for porting work and the support. The other aspects, once you do the assessment, here there's a small glitch that has happened. I'm just going to quickly talk about. You need to plan appropriately. Once you have done an assessment, you have all the the necessary information in your hand to make a perfect plan. And one of the most common mistakes is to underestimate the effort. You need to make sure you allocate enough time, resources, and the effort. the 11A to R12 upgrade is much bigger than the 11A maintenance pack upgrades. There are significant changes in the functionality and the data model. It's there are more flexible implementation options available. You don't have to go for the low-hanging fruit and then repent later. And don't look at the time and resource estimates from one of your 11A maintenance pack. They may not apply. You should get committed resources from the business. It's not a job of IT alone. And these are the factors you need to consider for estimating the time. Or you very heavily customize the number of applications that you have implemented, or the integration is very complex in scope, and or the integration is complex in scope and complexity. Is it a minimal technical upgrade, or you would like to embark on a full feature-driven upgrade? Do you plan to upgrade in conjunction with the platform or system change, or you would like to do them ahead of time? You also need to plan at least 3 iterations, if not more, and you need to make sure there is enough time for testing. So with this, we have tried to kind of show a matrix here, which helps you to determine whether your project is going to be a vanilla, or a moderate sized project, or a heavy project, which determines what could be your project time, cost, and the effort in terms of resources and the time. Kind of like we are drawing to a close. So now that we have talked about the planning, we would like to share what are common mistakes that we have seen in the past in the upgrade project. This is an information we have gathered from survey in the OAUG and some of the other places. The first one is underestimating the scope of the project. Second is understaffing, assuming that it's going to be a plain technical upgrade, completely ignoring the wider business impact. And the fourth mistake that people do is assuming that IT could work in isolation and get the project done. And sometimes misunderstanding the R12 data model poses a big challenge when the IT team tries to retrofit or port the assembly component. And assumption that the business process are unaffected is another big blunder that a lot of companies do. Not reviewing the test scripts, or assuming that the test scripts for 11i would work with the R12, or allocating adequate time is another big mistake that we have seen. Managing expectations, communication, the project management is another aspect that need to be highlighted. Ignoring or underestimating the impact of integrated systems. So these are the lessons or the top mistakes people have made. We just thought we would share it with you so that you can take cognizance of these issues and plan appropriately. To get the job done, you need to have the right team. Typically, you have a steering committee which is headed, or it constitutes of the CIO and the CFO who oversees the upgrade project. You have an upgrade project manager who manages, the systems manager who manages the infrastructure, the DBA manager, and the development manager for ensuring the assembly and the technical components are all retrofitted. The functional manager that takes care of the business process alignment, and the testing manager to take care of the testing and making sure that the test plan scripts are all done and the cases are all done, and there are no issues before the acceptance of the product, and giving a green signal for the go live. You also need to have a training lead, and the training lead is not only for your the functional and the technical consultant. He is also there for your business process owners and the super users. Lastly, we would like to quickly share some tips on how you could accelerate your preparation. And first of all, it's all about education. If you prepare well, you do a great job on the project. A man who is well prepared, half the job is done. You need to do a good assessment. This is the fundamental sounding board on which the entire project lives on. If you are comfortable, you can onboard an experienced SI who could help you with this formal assessment on all the perspectives. You could do a pilot or a trial upgrade, which would give you insights on what is involved in the R12 upgrade. You should gather a lot of information in advance from resources available to you. These relate to R12, Metalink, Info Center, OAUG, and white papers. And where possible, you should depend on the tools and templates. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Someone has done it for you in the past, and then it helps you to cut the time. These could be, there are like several templates that would help you cut the time. The project plans, the training plan, the BR100s, or the upgrade plan, the patches that you need to be applied. And in terms of tools, there are again ready-made tools available. One of them is called commercial off-the-shelf tool is called Kanaya, which does the impact analysis of your assembly. It helps you plan, gives you recommendations on how to fix those assembly, And not only that, it gives you even tips on how to test those actually. And if you get some ready-made training material for R12, it's fantastic. You don't have to reinvent the wheel once again. And if you are kind of short-staffed, you should, if you have estimated yours correctly, you would be able to recruit an extended team, which would help you accelerate, ahead of time. We quickly wanted to share some of the resources, the information on the resources where you can get more information. One of them is Oracle support. It was called SQL Metalink, and there is a note ID which talks about the information center. There are blogs available, and one of the best blogs available from Oracle is Stephen Chan's blog. He's a senior director for application technology. Oracle has also started a new YouTube channel where they are publishing several of these presentations there. On Oracle open world presentations and OAUG papers are another gold mine that you can dig into. And some of these additional resources we have simply put there. You should be able to get it all from the Oracle support. This is the info center, your release value propositions, the release content documents, and the transfer of information online training, which helps you to get started with R12. And we have covered all the topics that we indicated in the agenda. Now it's a question time. We would be happy to field any questions any of you might have. Thanks a lot for patiently listening to us.
Thanks, CV. That was definitely of great help, and we definitely have a few questions that have come a long way from us. So one of it is, when is R 12.2 likely to be available?
Yeah, Oracle has a policy for their due diligence. They do not disclose the information on the expected date. But then overall expectation is in the middle of this year, summer of 2013 is the time when it will be available, approximately.
Okay, great. So does Enrich IT provide R12 training services?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can get in touch with our sales team. We have done this for a lot of our clients. We could talk about purely incremental training on what's the difference between 11A and R12, or we could give you someone who is doing a greenfield implementation, we could train them completely on R12 EBS applications.
Okay. So how long does it take, typical upgrade takes?
We have seen these upgrades taking anywhere from 6 months to 24 months, depending on whether it's a simple technical upgrade or whether it's a completely transformational re-implementation that the company is looking at. And simple technical upgrade, if it is a plain vanilla with least amount of customization, it could even be done in about 4 months if there is enough commitment in terms of resources and the budgets and the staffing levels.
Sure. So, GV, we have a couple of more questions, but unfortunately we are strict on timelines, and I'm near the end of the webinar. I'll document these questions and send it over to you so that you can reach out to respective attendees and answer them in person. So with that, we are concluding our session today, and I thank you all very much for attending the webinar. We should soon be coming up with the next episode of R12 series, and that will be happening on 9th of April. So you all will receive an invite for the same very soon. For webinar video, please visit us on www.enrich.com, and we look forward to connect again with our upcoming webinar. Thank you very much for the time today.